Ever wondered what product managers do? If you want to know the answer, stick around. Hello everyone and welcome to a new video from Careers Talks, where I chat with professionals about their daily job responsibilities, their career paths, and how they manage to land their jobs. In the previous video, I had a chat with Brandon where he explained to us what is product management. In this video, I also speak with Brandon. Brandon is a technical product manager that works in London at Beamery, a talent lifecycle management platform that helps firms like Amazon and Uber attract, engage, and retain top talent. In this video, Brandon tells us what does Beamery do, what does his team at Beamery do, and finally, he will walk us through some of his job responsibilities and the projects he is working on. I hope you'll find this video insightful. Don't forget to like, share this episode, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll enjoy the video. You work at a firm called Beamery, which is a talent lifecycle platform.
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit more about it? What do you offer?
So what you'll read about us is that we're a talent management lifecycle company, and people are like, well, what does that mean? So the way I tell people is that at a high level and in its simplest form, we help other companies to attract, nurture, hire and retain talent.
Oh, okay.
So that's what we call the talent management life cycle, right? So if we think about us applying for jobs, we had to go to some career page and enter our information. Someone had to receive our information, our CV, go through it, talk to the hiring manager. We got interviewed, we got hired, and now we're at a company. That's the talent life cycle.
Okay.
So we're a B2B software as a service company. So we sell our software to huge companies like Amazon, Uber, Accenture, and they use our platform either for parts or all of that talent life cycle.
Okay. Can you walk us through like a use case, for example, just to get an understanding, one of the products or one of the services?
Yeah. So our biggest
on
thing,
a high level,
our biggest thing is that we're an artificial intelligence company, actually.
Okay.
So we have our own proprietary AI that helps with hiring. So let's give an example. I always ask people this question: if you have a stack of like 100 CVs, how do you rank them from worst to best? And you find that there's no one right answer. And I think one thing I try to point out is that, well, it's also prone to bias, right? Like your own bias that you're not aware of. And so what we do, just to give one example, is that we take information from resumes, information about you, and we can actually infer the skills that you have based on your job title, the company you're working on, and what you tell us you do, or what we find out about your company.
Nice.
And we basically come up with just your kind of skills portfolio.
Nice.
And we give our clients can use that to help them make decisions about their hiring or who to bring into interviews, because it's a more objective way to compare candidates and take out some of the biases that typically affect the hiring process, just to make it more fair and equitable for everyone, right?
Nice,
because it's no secret in the world of hiring, it can be subject to so much bias. And so what we're really on a mission to do is to take out that bias and make sure everyone can have equal access to work.
Nice, like purely skill-based decision-making when it comes to hiring, which I think is very fair. Because sometimes you might even see someone from your own country and you're just trying to support them and maybe hire them. Even if you want to be very objective, it might sometimes be hard to be 100% objective.
Your unconscious bias may slip in, right? And I think one of the ways we try to tackle that is with this AI, just to help these companies, and it really helps them make sure they achieve, their D&I targets, that they're being fair. A big part of our platform is that AI capability.
Nice. And you work as a technical product management.
Yes.
Maybe we defined product management. Can you tell us what is technical product management a bit, and then we'll dive into the role and your responsibilities.
So I would say a product manager and a technical product manager are the same in terms of their day-to-day and their responsibilities at a high level, right? The difference is that a technical product manager, their focus at that company, their product, let's say, will be more technical. So
Okay,
to give an
that makes
example,
sense.
working on APIs, working on data pipelines with the data engineering team. At our company, like the AI team, you usually find that because it requires a bit more technical knowledge than you would require in a normal product manager role, let's say, they differentiate it by calling the role a technical product manager.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it doesn't necessarily mean someone whose title is product manager doesn't work on technical products. I think it will depend on how the company decides to define their jobs. Exactly. But typically, if they do make the choice to call it technical product manager, it's a fair assumption to say they're going to be working on more technical products, let's say.
Interesting. And as a technical product manager, what do you do at Beamery?
Yeah, so my team's actually interesting, and people are shocked when I say this, but our team doesn't own one specific part of the product. We're actually the R&D branch of our engineering organization.
Nice.
So what we try to do is bridge the gap between a business or customer need and technology solutions, and that can be emerging technologies, right? So if someone comes to us or we come across a business opportunity, like our customer has asked for this and it applies to other customers and it's super important, but like our other teams are fully occupied, you know, with their own roadmap, and if there's ambiguity and risk, it typically comes to us. And we essentially just take it and try to solve that problem at a small level, almost like a proof of concept, with experimentation, with knowledge and technical spikes. It's very much like R&D, and we produce what's called a proof of concept, which is like a small example that we can solve this problem. Here's the technologies we use to solve this problem, whether it be something we already use in our stack or something completely new. And we enable the other team who will then take that on to productionize it.
Nice.
So we very much have a variable scope, and we get to work on a bunch of different things related to AI, related to data and reporting. It very much is a generalist team, which I've quite like.
Yeah.
So it's very atypical of what you'll hear from a lot of other product managers who are kind of in one or specific product area.
Yeah, I think this sounds very interesting, because when I was researching product management, and even at my company at Amazon, you get to see people really focusing on like one specific feature of a product and developing it. Of course, it has its advantages in terms of you maybe become really good at really knowing the details of a feature and understanding it well and becoming very good at that execution part. But I think this also gives you, like, in terms of in your case, it really gives you an edge of, I'm not focused on one product. Any problem I need to see, how does it work? How do I convince stakeholders that, we might take this into execution, or at least pass it down to the next product manager, who will be now responsible of, okay, how do we actually execute, given that your team proved that this might be a product we can launch and help the business and the customers. So I'm assuming the variety of problems you face and the sizes of the products and the potential end customer is very different, which sounds very interesting.
It is. It's like, but I like it. I've always been the type of person who likes to, I like to do one thing and then just move on to the next. Which is exciting for me. So I think it brings excitement to my day to day. And again, like I've worked in one particular product area before, like what I did at Noon. So I think I'm fine with either, but I just thought this was a nice opportunity just to be able to build my knowledge and expertise a bit more across different areas.
Yes, even technically, like APIs, or we need to figure out how we use AI for this problem. So it sounds very interesting. Can we delve a bit deeper into like the daily responsibilities? So is it that every day you look at a new problem and you try to figure out a proof of concept? Like what do you do a bit day to day or week to week? Or
So my team works in Scrum. So we run 2-week sprints. So I'm responsible for organizing that sprint. So I will look at the different opportunities that we have, either ongoing or potential, and I'll prioritize them based on their business impact, their customer impact, etc. And I will come in and define what that sprint looks like. So what outcomes do we want to achieve? what are the different work streams corresponding to those outcomes. And we work as a team to define that for 2 weeks. Now, during those 2 weeks, my responsibilities in particular are user research. So I talk to customers where needed to understand more about a problem space. I talk to our business stakeholders about these problems, their experience, their thoughts, and to get their buy-in, essentially. So it's a lot of talking. It's a lot of digging and exploration and research. A part of that, of course, is market research, understanding what's happening in the market with our competitors, with other companies. So that's one part of it. Of course, overseeing the sprint, making sure everything's up to date, making sure everything's on time, and working with our other teams. So because of the nature of our company, we're a B2B SaaS company, we have a notable sales and marketing team. And it's really important to make sure whatever you're doing that will be in the hands of a customer, you work with these other teams so that they understand what that product is. They understand why it's important, because with that context, they can do their jobs even more effectively. So my day-to-day involves just a lot of talking, essentially, which is fine. A lot of asking questions, a lot of just digging into your curiosity. But yeah, it's what you'll typically find in any PM role. I'd say it's a lot of research and talking and execution.
Nice. And is there a part where you talk to engineers to I know that you don't build the whole thing, but let's say it's something promising. Is there a part where you start talking to engineers and finance? Like, how do you interact with the other teams? Or does your team have its own engineers, like the R&D team? Can you just tell me a bit more about that?
Of course. So we have our own engineers. So I work with our engineering manager, who actually leads the engineers. So they're in my team. So I actually talk to them every day.
Nice.
And I check in with my engineering manager, and I talk every day, just to catch up, to make sure he's my ears on the ground with the engineers in particular, right? So just to make sure everything is up to speed, that we don't have any blockers or issues, I talk to him every day. And at the same time, I talk to our engineers as well. So when it comes to our team, we communicate every day.
So every day. When you're building demos, I'm assuming that team is mainly focused on building demos.
Exactly. We all work together and communicate just to make sure it gets done. But within our company, we also work very collaborative across teams, and because we have dependencies across teams as well, we have to. At our company, the culture is you just reach out to another team if you need something from them, clarification, thoughts. So if I need another team's input because I know that their product person or their engineers would have a good perspective on this, I will simply schedule a meeting with them and talk to them. When it comes to working with like departments outside of product and engineering, like sales and marketing, it's really the responsibility of the product manager to do that outreach, right? Just because the product manager is the one with the context to give to those teams.
Explain the why.
Exactly. So it is a part of that product development process to reach out and involve sales and marketing at certain points. The earlier the better. But it's the product manager's responsibility to do that outreach and to make sure you get there. First of all, you tell them about the problem, what we're planning to do, but also you get their buy-in as well. Because if they don't understand, it will be harder for them to sell.
For anyone to sell it. No, that makes sense. I'm thinking of the diamond example you gave, and I think you're really focused on that part in this role. And less maybe execution. You give some directional information of if you want to execute this and this and that would be my recommendation. But yours is really trying to start from a point and seeing how can we really get the information needed to really build or even prove if this is something we can build and take into execution.
It's like it's an interesting form of product management, let's say. I still do the core responsibilities because you're right. For our team, we do go through like solution discovery and build, but just not to a production level because again, those will go to the actual delivery or production teams who do that. And so what we actually like to say is that we help those other teams move quicker and be more productive by helping them. Because also our team has very senior principal engineers who've been at the company for like 8 years.
When you say engineers, software, like software,
engineers, who've been with the company for like 8 years. So they're very, very senior, and they have strong knowledge of our company's technical infrastructure. We're almost a valuable asset to these teams, because when it's a really complex technical problem, they typically call us in to help. So I still go through the typical motions, but it's just kind of a different setup, let's say.
No, because you also need that experience to quickly validate, right?
Exactly.
You can't spend 2-3 months only building a demo and then realizing this might not work because our infrastructure is built in an XYZ way. So you need these experienced people to tell you, if you need to build it, let's do this. Like, they map it much more quicker than maybe the engineers in these smaller teams who don't have that overview of how things work overall. That makes sense.
I was talking to my engineering manager about this, and I think we say in our team we need to fail fast if we're going to fail.
You're like the testing phase of everything.
So I think we've somehow found a nice way of working where we will just test something really quickly. If we have to build, we build a skateboard instead of building the car. That's what we like to say. So you're right. I think that's why I enjoy this team as well, because I think if I do move to a more typical product team, let's say, I know I'll be able to call on that experience of just being able to test very quickly.
That makes sense.